This video will take you through all the known Armoury data locations for the operations in Space Marine 2. The first operation is Inferno. The first Armoury data location is after completing the initial swamp area of the mission, as you come through the doors that lead to the camp where you search bodies for the mission objective. Head up the ramp on the left-hand side up to the second level. Once there, follow the path along until just before the cave entrance. You will see an open area to your left behind the tent. Go into the area and the skull will be in the corner, right behind the tent. The second Armoury core location is in the refinery. When the doors open, head to the right and move past the number 4 battery location that you must defend as part of the objectives in this room. On the far side, you will see some boxes near the water. The Armoury data will spawn next to these boxes. The third Armoury data location is after the refinery room, right before the elevator that takes you up to the roof. When you come into the last room here, there are 2 levels. The Armoury data will be on the bottom level. Head to the back corner of the bottom level, and it will be next to the table. The last location is after the elevator. Move through this area until you get to the railing that overlooks the final location of the mission. Look to your right and you will see an open door. Head through the door and look in the back right corner. That is the last of the Armoury data locations for this mission. Decapitation is the next operation. The first Armoury core is just after you exit the destroyed cathedral. Move up and down the stairs to the first open section. Drop down on the left to the lower level and follow the railing to your left. You will see a crate near the steel pillar. Just behind it, a skull can spawn. The second Armoury data location is just a bit further on. When you reach the red door that you have to activate to get the room where you have to plant bombs, turn around and there is a small ledge next to a pillar. On the far side of it, a skull can spawn. The third Armoury data location is in the first elevator room just after you complete planting the bombs. As you come into the room, go to the close right corner of the room and it will spawn in that location. The fourth location of the Armoury data is in the next elevator room after you collapse the bridge, in a similar location. As you walk in, head to the right and it will spawn just behind a metal object in the corner. The final location is 2 locations. As you come into the room where you can see the tyrant climbing up the wall, just before the final fight, there are 2 rooms on either side. The skull can spawn in either of these rooms. Make sure you check both anyway, as there is often a guardian relic in one of the rooms, which is always helpful during the final fight. That is all the locations of the Armoury data in the second operation mission. Next up, we have the Vox Liberatis Operation. The first location is after you have gone up the first elevator and are heading down through a broken building. After the last ledge you drop off and you see a building to your left with lots of columns, look for a ramp in the rubble to your right. Go down the ramp and into the small room. In the left corner, you will see the servo skull. The second is in the room with the first encounter with the Chaos enemy. As you head in, turn to the left and go up the closest set of stairs. Just in front of the large statue and behind the small lectern, the servo skull will spawn. You can clear this room before going for the data. The third location is in the large open space after going up the second elevator. As you come up the stairs outside, you will see a ramp of rubble on the left. Go up the ramp and along to the boxes on the far end. Right behind these boxes, the servo skull will spawn. The fourth location is in the room with the big elevator that you fight enemies on. As you come into this room, there is a small alcove just to the left of the entrance. As you walk into the alcove, you will see the skull. The last location is in the final boss room. The location of the skull is just to the left of the entrance as you come in. However, it will not be there as you come into the room. After removing 2 of the objectives in the final encounter, the skull should spawn. This can be a harder one to remember, as if you complete the encounter, you will not be able to go back and get it. That is all the locations for the Armoury data in the Vox Liberatis mission. Enjoy! Reliquary is the fourth operation. The first location is at the start of the mission. As you come through, hug the left wall. As you follow along, you will come to an alcove on the left. Just behind the rubble, next to a column, will be the first servo skull location. The second location is also very close. As you follow the path along, you will come around next to the cliff and see a big statue directly in front of you. Once again, hug the left wall and you will find a small room. Just to the right of the entrance, next to the blue light, is the location of the servo skull. The third location is after the elevator and before you cross the bridge that is being set on fire. To the left is a ramp going down and you will see a brazier against the wall. The skull can spawn directly in front of the brazier. The fourth location is on the bridge, just before the first building that covers the whole bridge. To the right hand side, you will see a metal staircase. Go down the staircase into the room beneath. There is a blue light on a pillar. The skull can spawn next to that light. The last location is at the final building on the bridge. When you drop down onto the bridge after moving through the building, turn around and move through the thin gap in the rubble. Move around to the side of the building and the last skull can spawn on the outside corner of the building. That is all the locations for the Armoury data in the Reliquary mission. The second last operation is the fall of Atreus. The first data location is right at the beginning. As you come out onto a balcony and head to the right, there is a door that you go through to continue the mission. Before you go through, move past the door to the far corner and the servo skull will spawn next to the wall. The second location is after the first time you follow the dreadnought and move through the metal gates into a large room where you need to move the crane. If you head straight in and go to the far right corner of the room, you will find the servo skull behind some boxes next to a dead body. The last location is in the final room. As you enter the room where you must escort the fusion battery, follow the wall to the right and up the ramp onto the platform. The skull will be located in the right corner as you come up onto the platform. That is all the known locations for the Armoury data in the Fall of Atreus mission. Ballistic Engine completes our roundup of operations. The first location is at the end of the first dust storm area. As you reach the end, there is a door on the left that you must go through to continue the mission. On the far wall, there will be an opening. Go through the opening into a small room and in a corner to the right, you will find the first servo skull location. The second location is after the first elevator. As you come off the elevator, move through the left-hand side corridors until you reach a room just before heading back outside. In the left-hand corner, the second possible location for the skull will be there. The third location is in the next dust storm area reasonably early on. As you move through the area, you will get to a location where you can go up a ramp on the left and one on the right. Go up the ramp on the right and follow the wall along to the end where some boxes are. Right behind the boxes is the next skull location. The fourth location is in the large room with all the trains. As you drop down the second drop onto the level with the track, go straight ahead. Near the far side of the room on the right hand side, between some boxes, will be the next location for a skull. The last location is just before the elevator that takes you to the final room. Stick to the right of the room and behind the last set of boxes before the elevator, the skull can spawn. This completes our list of all known spawn locations for Armoury data. Enjoy.